Insurance Man Podcast Don't Shoot. Today we have a special guest. I'm super excited.
Let's go.
His theme song. Mr. Luis Muralles, awesome person to get to know. A great friend of mine. I consider family. Yes. We've known each other quite a while now.
About 15 years almost.
Yeah, and we've had quite a journey together. And I'm excited to interview you and learn about your experience in the final expense industry. You have a unique perspective to a lot of agents and managers that are in the industry.
I appreciate that, bro. I'm excited to be here, for sure.
Right on. Let's go ahead and just dive right in. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, as far as me, I'm a first-generation immigrant. I was brought to the United States when I was 2. So I always say I crossed 2 borders, but I actually got carried over 2 borders, right? So I didn't actually cross them. So just seeing, I was raised with a mom that worked. We were raised in LA. She cleaned houses for a living. She was cleaning about 3 houses probably within a week. She would take me with her. So I saw that hustle growing up, So grew up had a good upbringing and just your regular childhood. And when I was about 14, 15, I moved to Phoenix, Arizona with the family.
Okay.
And had a good career. I worked for banks, different parts, and I was actually a loan officer.
Okay,
so I did mortgages. I know you did that too. So it was good for a while, right? It was awesome till it wasn't.
Yeah. Oh yeah. A lot of money.
A lot of good money, easy money. Probably a lot easier than what we do now, but
comes quick and you can lose it even quicker.
But it was gone.
Yeah.
And when it was gone, you lost everything. Houses, you lost everything you had because you were making good money. But right after that, actually, I needed a job. And luckily I had a cousin that was working for Lincoln Heritage at the time. He'd probably been there for about 8 years, 9, 10 years. Johan Arias.
Yeah.
He's a big manager for us now. But he asked me, hey, if you want to come work over here. The job was about $12 an hour, which was a big difference from the mortgage industry. So
it was 0 at the time.
Right. It was
2008.
It was 0 in 2008.
Yeah.
I tried to stay in it for a little bit. Yeah. I needed a job. I needed to feed family. I got married when I was about 20, 21 maybe.
Okay.
By the time I was 21, I had 4 kids already between me and my wife. Even had a minivan.
Oh, I had the minivan.
Never again. I was like, I'll never have a minivan again. You have 4 kids. How about the kids? I started working at Lincoln, and luckily they had unlimited overtime because they were so busy at the time. This was back in 2009.
Okay.
No, this was back 2007, 2008, during the time that the mortgage industry started falling apart. They had unlimited overtime, which I was probably working 50, 60, 70 hours a week.
Maybe 70 hours a week.
50 to 70 hours a week, automatically.
$12 an hour?
$12 an hour, 18 with overtime, right?
There you go.
I was probably making about 50 grand a year.
Okay.
Actually, Lincoln, you might want to check, but they changed the whole overtime structure because of me. They're like, oh, we can't have everybody working like that. But I was there from 6 in the morning till 10 at night, putting policies together just because I was used to making that kind of money. Mm-hmm. So I had to feed my family and I did what I had to do. So that was my start with Lincoln Heritage. I was a home office guy. It was a great company. I loved working there. But then I saw this guy that just came on board and started just making so much money because I would issue those checks. I was working for agency. That guy was you.
Yeah.
You came on board and you were just different. So you were doing everything in English when a lot of agencies that we worked with were Spanish. And it gave me that power to believe I can do that too. It took me a little while. I was there for 2 years. I started thinking about leaving because I started seeing the trips. I started seeing the luxury. When you're living, you start seeing something that you want to be that. When I started looking into it, I think Johan told maybe Anne-Marie or told Golden Memorial that I was thinking of leaving the company. He'll be good for you guys, right?
Yeah.
But it was up there. So one day I get a call from Anne-Marie Berrigan. She goes, hey, so I heard you want to leave. I'm like, yeah, I'm debating that. She goes, let's do it. Let's get your license. And I said, okay, I'm gonna go and try to get my license. But I talked to the VP of the company and he looked at me, he goes, we don't let people leave anymore because people think it's easy. People think they see all these people making good money, having a good life, taking trips, they think it's easy. But you work 70 hours a week.
That's what I was gonna say. They don't see the 70 hours. That's the big thing.
They don't see the work.
What's going on behind the scenes, the 10 o'clock nights, the
nonstop. It becomes everything, right? But he gave me his blessing because he said, you know what, you work so much, I think you'll be good. You go ahead and leave. And if you want to come back, we'll leave that door open.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what, Doug, I appreciate it, but I ain't coming back.
Yeah.
I knew I have to make it work, right?
Yeah.
So that's how I started my career. I got my license within a couple of weeks. I think it was April 2009. And by May, I was already out in the business. I was writing.
Out in the field, writing.
Writing. My first month, I outproduced the agency that was in Arizona. Arizona was a non-producing state.
Bam, let's go. That's
28
big.
grand, and they did 22.
That's huge, man.
That first month, Anne Marie was like, okay, you're going to be a manager now. Like, what do you mean? I just started. I can't be a manager. I've always managed and wrote at the same time.
Come in, you're the biggest person there to be able to put in the car with somebody, right?
Right.
Like, obviously, you know how to produce. For sure.
You got to be able to do it.
Yeah.
Right. You can't teach people something you're not willing to do yourself.
Putting their livelihood on the line, right? That can't do it themselves, right? Leading from the front is like a
you
huge
have
thing.
to. That's big in this business.
And you showcase that for a long time as far as like your work ethic and being willing to go anywhere. We were talking earlier and you said, what did JR call you? What was your nickname?
He called me a gypsy.
Gypsy?
Like, stop being a gypsy. You want to go there, you want to go there. I've always been willing to go anywhere where I can produce and grow. Yeah. You learn you want to mow your own grass first before you start mowing someone else's.
Yeah. But in all that travel, what have you learned about what we sell and what we do? Has it been hugely different working in one area to another area?
The difference is just the logistics of the state. Like you go to LA, it's not as easy because you can go to another city. You got leads in one city. To get to another city, it might take an hour. Right? The traffic's different, but the leads are the same. The people are the same. Where a lot of people try to say, these leads don't work, right? Yeah. But it's you that's not working.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Right. It's normally you not working.
You're not working. The leads work. It's you that's not working, right? That's something that I've learned is that the leads are the leads. The people are interested. Everybody needs what we do.
Yeah. And the people that we're seeing, they have a need, right? We're there to service that need. We're there to go to treat them like family. And if we can help them, fantastic. But if we can leave there and put them in a better spot, that's the ultimate goal, right? And when you go with that attitude to help people, I think it really magnifies success, especially whenever you match that with putting in the time, putting in the effort.
You have to care. Yeah. You have to care.
Yeah.
It's not about money. The money is great, right? Yeah. But you're able to take care of people at the worst time of their life. And it's something that I love what I do. I take it personal. I've had a dad pass away. I have a family pass away. I've had a wife pass away. These plans help so much.
That's a incredibly difficult thing, right? Losing a family member. If you want to talk about it, we can. Yeah. You lose and lost your wife. Right. And again, me and Tara, we've known you guys both. And
we're family.
Been on family trips together.
You went to the funeral. You were there with me. I always appreciate that. But yeah, a lot of people lost in 2021. I wasn't the only one. Yeah. Right? So many people passed away. We know it in our business. How many people, how many claims that we have during that time? Yeah. She was a product of that.
Man. So to go through something that difficult, what advice would you give to people? Because again, like you said, a lot of people experience loss.
Right.
What are some things that maybe motivated you or helped you? Obviously, it's our initial reaction as a human is I
couldn't go through that.
It's easy to get into a funk and a depression.
This business helped me. It gave me something to do. Because if I didn't have it, what would I do with myself? You're busy. So I focused on, I still have kids. I still have to raise them. They still need me. So you can easily fall apart. And most people do. It's a good reason to fall apart. And you can lose yourself. But the only person that suffers is you. The only person is your own family, the people that depend on you. And I used it as motivation. I promised her that I was going to take care of my family. It's just the way I've always done it.
As long as I've known you, you've always talked about one of the most important things to you has always been your kids, right? Giving your kids more, giving them a better opportunity. Right. And obviously that's huge, right?
We talk about our why, right? Everybody has their whys, and most people, their why is their kids, their wife, their spouse, their family. There's not many people that come into our business and don't have a why. Because you need something to strive for.
At least future goals of having something that's going to motivate you, right? And something that's going to help you through those hard times, because this business is definitely not easy.
It's a hard business, right? Like I always say, it's not for everybody, but for that one person, it's for everything.
It's not for most.
It's not for most, right? Probably we're a 1% company, right? There's it's not many people can do it because not many people want to work that hard.
Yeah.
It comes down to work ethic.
Something that I think is different about you, working 70 hours a week, to me, you're a top prospect, right? Of someone that I want to work with. Or that's at least one quality of things that I know.
Green flag.
Green flag, yeah. Something that will help propel your success or that you're more than likely to stick in our industry. And that's, again, a big thing. Now, it still drives me crazy to run into people that they come from something like that. They get into our industry, and because of the freedom, it's like they go straight to 20 hours a week. They go from like full throttle to...
From working at an industry for 10 years, giving their all, right? Making pennies, right? You can make pennies, you can make dollars.
Yeah.
but then they want to work part-time.
Yeah.
But in this business, you can't start that way.
And most employers honestly are going to give you the least amount possible to keep you happy and to keep you working, right? They got, and again, there's a lot of tough businesses, and especially in tough times in the economy where businesses are forced to make tough decisions. But when you're working for yourself, and especially like with what we do, you really get an opportunity to write your own check. And so like for us as managers, I know that's something that I've always preached, and I know you feel the same way, is that it's like, hey, you got to go out, pretend like this is a job, right? Set a schedule. And if you want to change your life, like JR told me, when I started talking to him about what my income goals and things, he goes, it could happen in a few years, or it can happen in 10 years, or it may never happen, right? How hard are you willing to work? And really, it's up to each and every one of us to have that why.
Right. JR is the master. I told him this. We just met him a couple of days ago. He's the master of motivating you.
Yeah.
Why? Because he's going to tell you you're not good enough.
Yeah.
Right? You can't do that. What he tell you? You're not going to be able to. I'm going to be number one. Yeah, I don't think you're going to do that. Right? It pushes you. So he knows what he's doing.
He's good at seeing people and then reading them to get results. When I told him, hey, I got to make 150 grand my first year, he laughed. He literally laughed. I'm like, oh, that's like a slap in the face. I'm taking that personal. It's like, show me what everybody's doing, right? What are the top people doing, the people that are making the most amount of money? And I'm going to copy that process. I'm not here to reinvent the wheel, and I'm going to outwork them, right? And the people that come in, really, for anybody that's going into business, no matter what business that they're going into, I think that having that solid work ethic. I read a thing by Elon Musk the other day. He said, if you commit 80 to 100 hours a week, you're going to accomplish more in 3 or 4 months than most people accomplish in a year. Right. So even if you're not more talented, just out of sheer effort, you're going to win, because most people aren't willing to do that.
You hit it 100%, because here it's work. And I'll tell my agents, I motivate them. I'll tell them, look, you guys might be better salesmen than me. You guys might have a better everything than me, but you're never going to outwork me. And when you know that about yourself, you can say things like you say, I'm going to outwork anybody in this company.
Yeah.
And in this business, work ethic is everything. You can't teach it. You have to have that. How many agents have we? Oh, this agent's going to be great. He has all the potential. He has all the makings. He talks right. He has all the whys.
The ability, everything, but the work ethic's not there.
But there's no work ethic. It's like when you're playing basketball, right? You're going to the rim. You have $1 million move, but a 1-cent shot.
Yeah.
You're not going to make that shot, because at the end, you're not working hard enough. You got to master the work ethic. And a lot of people don't want to work that hard in this country.
It's going to help you get better, right? They say 10,000 hours to master anything.
Right.
I tell people all the time, I'm like, you look at, why do we have the professional athletes? Why do you think they practice? Why do you think they have a coach, right? It's the same thing in this business. If you want to be successful, you have to be willing to listen to your coach. You have to be willing to go out and do the reps, right? You have to be willing to go out and get banged up, understand that it's not going to be easy. You're going to fall down. You're going to have missteps, but rely on the people that have been there and people that want to see you succeed. And when you have a good upline and you have a good team behind you, it makes it easier, right? Let's be honest. There's been business when we've all thought about quitting the industry and leaving, but having the right people in your corner, having the right mentors and things can make a huge difference.
We know the job it's stressful, right? Because again, look, the job is easy. What we do is easy. You just got to get out and work. It's the easy part of it. But as you grow, you get better, you want to become better, especially you start getting into management. Now you're up with all these people that are striving. And if you're not striving to be better and get higher, then you're going to just be comfortable. And here, comfortability will kill your agency. Because if you're not teaching your agents how to move, you're not teaching, again, as a manager, you have to find those agents that have at least half of you. Like, if I'm looking for a me or I'm looking for an Adam, I'm gonna go through 1,000 agents before I find them, because there's not many people that have that same mentality. But once you find half of you, you're good. You build 10 agents that do at least 10 to 15 grand a month. Man, that's $150,000 agency, which it's very hard to do.
Yeah,
but it just
sounds easy when you talk about it, but it's definitely difficult.
Most people think it's easy, and that's the problem with our business. That a lot of people come, oh, I can do that, but they don't want to put in the work. And the work is the hardest part. But people like us, we've already worked those type of hours. That's easy. Like for me, it's easy. I like working. I like talking to people. I like being out. It makes a big difference.
To me, going out and knocking on a door and talking to someone and having to slam the door in my face versus working 18-hour shift in chicken guts. I grew up with my uncles and them, hardest working people I know, right? And there's like, to go out and do this. I'm like, this is like the easiest thing I've ever done, right? It's mentally challenging, right? It's difficult to handle the no's and things, but you just have to not take it personal again. And I think having the right mindset, the right people in your corner can make a huge difference in that.
It's all mindset too. Just like we mentioned, being able to get through the hardships, the grieving, all that stuff, your mind has to say, I can stay home, I could cry all day. There's no money there. Right? I'm not helping. I'm not doing nothing with myself. I'm just falling left. I'm trying to go right. I'm trying to grow. I'm trying to get better. And in grief, you can grieve all day long, but nobody cares about your grief.
Yeah.
Everybody has excuses. They can lose a job and it feels like they lost someone, right? It just depends how you deal with stuff. Some people can't deal with it and they fall apart, but it's a choice you make mentally. Yeah. And you're like, no.
And you probably have to make it every day, right?
Every day. It's a daily.
Like that's a hard thing. I think I would assume we all lost things, but
it's a daily thing because you don't feel like doing anything. When you lose your significant other, you lose mom, everything has pain, right?
Yeah.
But when you lose that person that you had a future with and everything was that, like you lose that part of yourself too. And you have to rebuild that person. So for myself, I'm building myself as this new person because that old person is gone.
Yeah.
Right? The dreams, what I wanted to get, the reasons I wanted to, that's all gone.
So how do you do that? What's your process in rebuilding?
For me, it's not being afraid of the pain, right? It's a lot of people don't want to cry. They don't want to deal with it. I deal with it. I could be driving, I hear a song, I'll start bawling, right? But I find myself within that pain, right? So I'm driving to a client's house and I could start just crying, right? But most people can't deal with that pain, so they put it away. And when you put that pain away, it comes up in another place, right? So for me, I deal with it, and I'll go to a client's house, and I'll tell them, look, they'll be like, I'm 45, I'm not gonna die tomorrow. Well, let me tell you a story, right? Yeah. So our life becomes our own stories, right? My dad was a good story. As agents, we're storytellers, and that's what helps clients understand that you're just like them. So it's helped me in my own way. I like to tell clients, look, you can die tomorrow. Yeah. I know because it's happened to me. And then they feel you connect with them because the truth is the truth.
People that don't know you or have never met you, Luis has written over $2 million on his own pen. His agency over $5 million. So with that comes a lot of stories, a lot of experience. Yeah. And you get to see when you write that much business, the calls. While we were sitting here earlier, he got a call from a client. Your phone never stops ringing, right?
You're always working, right? Yeah. And that's the difference. People think this isn't a 9 to 5, right? Yeah. You can work 9 to 5, but when you have thousands of clients, your job is to support them and help them. If someone passes away, and I tell my client, look, if that person passes away, call me. If your husband passes, something happens in the family, call me because I'm going to make sure that money is in your account within 24 hours.
Yeah. So if it's 11 o'clock at night on a Saturday, I already know you're going to pick up the phone.
I'm picking up the phone.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to be there and I'm going to instruct them on what to do. That's my job. These people are depending on me on the worst time of their life.
Yeah.
But what company is going to pay your clients within 24 hours within your word? I've never had a client pass away or pretend that someone passed away and called me and said, hey, just to fraudulently make some money.
Yeah.
That don't happen. Yeah. Right. So when a client calls me and someone passed away,
you know it's,
hey, I'll have that money for you tomorrow. Or if you want, I live in Phoenix, which the home office is in Phoenix.
Yeah.
Hey, if you want to go pick up that check at 4:30, go pick it up. And they can do that, right? Tell me which company is going to do that in this industry.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
None. And you need that. That's the difference between our company is death is immediate, right? If you don't have that money, that body's going to sit in the freezer for hours. If people are washing cars to pay for that, they're sitting in there. And I come from a place that people are used to doing car washes. It's like a natural thing, but it shouldn't be.
What's your website? Speaking of that,
nomorecarwashes.com. Let's go.
Nomorecarwashes.com. I love it.
In Phoenix, that's what they do. I personally believe that our product allows people to grieve, and that's the best gift we can give a family.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Yeah.
Nomorecarwashes.com. It's true. Yeah. We see it here in California too. Some other states, you probably don't see it in Illinois.
Back east, you don't see it as much. Yeah.
Jack had told me that you passed the hat or something. He said families would like.
I'll do a barbecue.
Yeah, like different things. At the end of the day, we're doing what we do to help serve families, right? We're doing it as a career because obviously we got to provide for our families, but it's awesome to be a part of an organization and industry to where we're actually going out and making a difference and helping people. The longer we've been in this industry, you've been with the company for how long now?
Since 2007, I've been with the company.
Yeah.
With GM, I've been with them since 2009. So about 14 years.
So what advice would you give someone that's maybe on the fence? Because this is something that in recruiting and talking to a lot of recruits myself and over the years, I think that I hear a lot is people are really nervous to make the leap from a W-2, from a guaranteed position into a 1099. What would be some advice to someone that's maybe on the fence of what they should do, or maybe some questions they should ask themselves if that's a good move or not?
Going from being actually guaranteed money, right? That's the hardest part. And that's how they get us, right? They guarantee you money, but you're giving up your time for that company, right? You can't make more if you wanted to. You can't unless you work overtime, right? People that want to come into our industry, they have to have a certain mentality, right? You have to go all in. There's no, oh, let me try this and I want to do that. In this business, what we do, it's a red flag when someone says, I want to work 20 hours. I want to work 30 hours. I can't work with you then.
Burn the damn boats.
But it's the truth, right? You can't do that with us. I tell my agents straight up, I need you to work between 40 to 60 hours to get started. Yeah. I have so many clients that it becomes different. Yeah. But the work ethic I'm still working 60 to 70 hours.
Dude, I haven't been in the field in so long, and I literally got a referral, passed it on to one of our managers. It was sold within the next 45 minutes.
Quick.
And I haven't been in the field forever. You know, sharing my business, telling them how important it is, giving extra business cards that it's been, I don't know, over 10 years, over a decade, right? And I got a referral sold policy, right? With protected family. And it was in Florida. I don't know the last time I sold a policy in Florida. It's been a long time. I can tell you that.
Definitely. But they remember that. Clients, it's just a different type of business. Like I said, I get calls all the time because what I do, I utilize the company as much as I can. Yeah. The company sends 100 second pre-approach letters to all your clients or all your leads.
For how much did it cost you?
Zero.
Don't charge nothing, not for one agent.
But now that I'm a manager, again, I get to do 250 letters. Yeah. And every few months you can do that. A lot of people don't utilize the company what they should, but if I see someone, I'm gonna say, are you sending letters? They're free.
Put
free
your name,
advertising.
Put your name, put your phone number on them. People are literally gonna call you.
And when they call you, they want it because it explains everything. Yeah. So I know it's a sale when my phone rings. It's a lay down. It's easy, right? So yeah, that's, you got to utilize the company. Because I come from the company, I know a lot of the tools that they have, and I use every tool I can.
So you stepped away from Gold Memorial for a little bit. We work with Lincoln. They write more final expense than everybody else. We have probably some of the highest paid, if not the highest paid, final expense agents and managers in the industry, right? Yeah. And a lot of times people want to talk about contract, and there's always all these fancy new things and this new product. I've always said, let's show our income. Let's show our numbers. What would you tell someone that's on the fence of maybe looking at another opportunity or maybe not happy where they're at in their current situation?
Okay. Yeah. Again, we were working together. We were building together. And I think as you could let your ego get in the way, right? I was doing it for a while. You think you deserve stuff in this business. And the train's going to keep moving with or without you. Right. And I think people think that you're bigger than what the company is, and you're not. They'll enjoy you. They'll treat you right. We go on trips. We go all over the world. But the second you start thinking that you're bigger than the system or you deserve something is the second you lose, because your mentality is, oh, I can go do this somewhere else. And the truth is I had to go to other companies, right? I had to go work somewhere else and try it. I didn't succeed anywhere. Why? Because it's not the same. Yeah. Lincoln Heritage, Golden Memorial, our agency, the way we do things, it's a system. And other companies don't have that. Nobody's going to finance your success. Yeah. And if they do finance it, you have to pay it 100% right back. Yeah. So when I first started, I was used to getting 50% of my advance. The other 50% is going towards funding our business. So without those leads, without those people, I can't make money. So I'm not going to look at the $400 they took. I'm going to look at the $400 I made. Unless you're getting your own leads, which that's the problem, right? We need leads. We're a lead-driven business. If there's a difference, you're an agent, there's nobody that's going to finance your business, right? I know agents that have been around for 25 years and they've written 15 to 20,000 and their life is great, right? But once you start getting into management, then you start thinking that you're even bigger and you can go anywhere. You can't. I'm telling you, there's nothing out there like this opportunity.
I've seen it, man.
I've been through it. Yeah. And the problem is, I think personally that you don't hurt anybody but yourself. I take the lessons that I've learned and it made me better, and I'm going to look at the best part of it, right? But what's the worst part of it? How much money did I lose during those 2-3 years? I would have been making 3-4 times of what I'm making now. The loss is personal, right? Now, I gained the knowledge of not ever making that mistake again. Because again, you lose, this train's going to move.
I can tell you in 15 years of doing this, I can probably count on one hand of people that have left came back and been able to stick and make it. And saying that, first off, let me congratulations, because I know you just got your MGA.
Let's go. Yeah.
Which is fantastic. You know, very few people do that. People that do come back and even that do make it, to rebound takes so much extra effort and extra work.
Right.
And I know you said you came back and you had to basically start all over, right?
Scratch.
Yeah. And then you add all the other personal things on top. I can tell you, for me, when I hear excuses of people, we all have things that happen and get in the way, but you're a perfect example of not letting things hold you back or get in your way from moving forward, right? And being there for your family, and also being an example.
You have to be. You choose what you are in life, right? I have kids. I want to be that example for them. I want to work hard. If they want to come into business, they can. But you know what my kids say? These days, these kids don't want to work hard.
Yeah.
I had a son that I took him to Vegas, and I think I want to go into your business. I'm like, all right, let's get your license. I want to wait a year or two. I don't want to work that hard you know what? Don't even bother. This business isn't for you. It's a mentality. But I think that at the end of the day, again, you have all these clients, and one of the biggest mistakes that people make, and this is why they can't come back, even if they wanted to, because what they do is they leave, and then they start replacing all the business that's on the books.
Yeah.
Because they can't find their own clients. One, that's your pay through. This is our retirement. I work for my pay through. I get my checks daily. Yes, I can live, but my retirement is growing.
Yeah.
And when we can talk about retirement in this business,
Yeah.
who's going to pay you $1 million after you stop working?
Yeah.
A lot of people like to go and they'll replace business, and that's the number one mistake they make, because not only can they not come back to Lincoln, they can't go anywhere because now they're on Vector.
Yeah.
Right? And Vector will kill you. Nobody wants to hire someone
It'll
like that.
catch up with you, right? But honestly, I think that's part of anything in life. If you're doing the right things, right? My dad always still tells me to do the right thing even when no one's looking. If you're going out there doing underhanded, dirty things, it's going to catch up with you, right? It might not be today. It might be this year. It might not be next year.
It's completely unethical, because it's not about you. It's about that client. If that person has been with you for 5-10 years, and then you put them into another policy, they have a 2-year contestability.
Yeah.
That's not helping the client at all. I've always thought about my clients. I love my clients. I tell my clients, call me, whatever you need, I'm here for you. People don't buy the product, they buy me.
So if you can talk to any agent, whether they work with us or not, any company that's struggling, they're not converting high enough on their leads, maybe they're not getting in enough houses, they're not, what would be your advice to them?
The common denominator for me, there's a lot of excuses of why they're not being successful, but I've never met an agent that's working 50 to 70 hours and not successful.
That's not making money.
It's not making money. I can teach you everything, but I can't teach you to work harder. So I think the biggest mistake is work harder. I know Jesse's mentioned this when I was on the call. He said, I remember one thing you told me, hey, how do I produce more? Work harder.
Work more hours.
It's easy math, right? But most people don't want to work that hard. They think that they're going to come into this business and they're going to relax and make good money, right? The money is great. The life it's a life-changing industry. How great do you live? I live a great life. And as an agent,
we're going to take you to the ranch and show you.
I'm going to go see that ranch. It's being able to overcome whatever mentally. The mental aspect of this will knock you out.
Yeah.
Again, it could be a loss. It could be you thinking you should go somewhere else. If you're not 100% in, you're not going to make it.
Yeah.
You have to be 100%. And some people don't want to be called after 7 o'clock. Look, you're always working. We integrate our lives with this business. And I love what the people that I've met, the people that, and there's one common denominator with everybody. You go to these trips, everybody's hustlers. Everybody's working.
Grinding, man.
They're grinding. You don't make that trip easily, right?
Yeah,
it's going to be work. So
and we just got back. Luis, he's actually less tan than when I seen him a few weeks ago. He looked like Fabio out there on the beach. And
it's my natural color, man. A lot of people pay a lot of money for those tans.
But we had a fantastic trip, Punta Mita, Mexico.
It was beautiful.
Company rented the Conrad 5-star resort, all inclusive, the entire resort for our company.
They paid for it to be exclusive.
That's crazy,
They've
right?
never done that.
That's insane. And it was over 600 plus people there. Awesome time.
Great trip. Yeah. And we've been on so many trips. We've been to Scotland. That's the best thing. We've always hung out. We have so many good memories.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about this business. Not only are you going to make great money, but you're going to meet a lot of like-minded people.
Yeah.
A lot of people that come from the same place as you come from. I'll use Chowchilla as an example.
How do you say it? How do you normally say it?
Chowchilla.
There you go.
But it literally per capita, it produces the highest producers in the country. Why is that? The power of belief.
Yeah.
They see you driving a nice car. They see JR driving a nice car. They know you from a long time ago. Man, if he can do it, I can do it.
I'm not that special, believe me. Tara will agree.
Bro, come on. I don't know any regional that works as hard as you do.
But that's the thing. You can negate a lot of your flaws and the areas where you're weak at through work ethic, through time, right? And
it fixes everything.
Just the other night, I put a Facebook message. I ended up working until midnight. I was like, you know what? Tara's in bed. I got stuff to do. At 6 a.m., I was up and back to work, right? And it was like, there's certain times when you're going to have to put in that extra effort. Right. And something that I've always told all the managers that work for me is you have to reinvest in this business. I use the number 30%, right? 30% of your income, you should be at least investing. And when you're first starting out, you don't have the money to do that. And you have to put in an extra percent in time. If you're going to work 100 hours in 2 weeks, now you got to work 30 hours, right? Because that 30% has got to go to growing your agency. Otherwise, it's not gonna grow. It's not gonna happen.
And I think that's a big mistake too people make is that they come into the business, they work hard, right? They get into the management positions, and then they think, okay, I can relax now. And everything that you did to get there, you stop doing. And that's when you see people falling off.
Going backwards.
I've seen people become regionals. I've seen people get downgraded to districts because you can't have a district manager outproducing a regional.
Yeah,
it's pressure. But I think a lot of people want to calm down and not work so hard. And it just doesn't happen with this business.
We both came from the mortgage industry, losing everything. It's always been like a motivating factor. We're like in the perfect storm, right? And being in a position to where we can continue to grow, continue to multiply our income, why wouldn't we want to do that, right? Work hard now. When you let your foot off the gas,
right,
it's that much harder to get it going again.
It's 100% much harder. That's the problem with this business. You make too much money.
Yeah.
There's a saying with us, all gas, no brakes.
Yeah.
So because you can't stop. And yeah, you can relax. I think JR said something like that. We had a manager meeting. He goes, look, you can have one bad year, maybe the second year. Sometimes you work so hard, you calm down for a year. But you can't have 3 years bad in this business.
You better be
the third one, you're done.
Yeah.
You're going to go down. So yeah, there's levels to it. There's levels to it for sure.
Something that's exciting though is the opportunities only getting bigger every day, right? We're getting more people that fall into our niche. The company's continually investing in marketing and strategies to help to make it better and easier for our agents to sell. And really it's just a matter of finding the right people. And right now the cool thing is that even though they say we're in a recession, whether you agree we are or aren't, doesn't matter.
Right.
I can tell you our business is up.
We're recession proof.
Yeah, our business is up.
That's something we learned with '08. We learned that's when we had the biggest years.
Yeah.
Why? Because everybody lost their savings.
Yeah.
The one thing you have to pay for is your funeral.
Yeah.
Right? You can't avoid that cost.
Yeah.
And then you don't have help, it's going to cost even more.
Yeah.
So that's the beauty of our product is that not only are we paying the family within 24 hours, we're also helping with all the arrangements.
Yeah.
Who does that for you?
Saving a bunch of money in that process, right? Money that's going to the families.
What is the funeral home going to charge? $5,000, $6,000 for a casket? Going to CostcoCaskets.com.
Yeah.
$1,500 for a beautiful casket.
Yeah.
There's no reason to spend that much money. But we don't do that. Our company has that built into our product. And that's the beauty of Lincoln and what we do is that it's such a great product. Nobody has it.
So let's talk about you and your goals. What are some things that you'd like to accomplish and where do you see yourself 6 months, a year from now? What are some things you're working towards and building towards?
Before it was always my kids, right? I just want to give them the life and I want to maintain that life. My kids were growing up.
Yeah.
I'm going to be 23 now. So everything changes. My why changes. Now it's more for me, right?
Yeah.
The next year I want to get back to 100, right?
Yeah.
Which I'm on my way there.
100,000 a month.
100,000 a month without my production.
Yeah.
Because I can write 30 grand and
yeah.
easily, but I'll probably do that to get there the first time, right? But my goals are to get to 100, get to 150. Just keep helping people because I'm in a position now that I can mentor people of what we do. We've been doing it for so long. We're experts, right? I can be on that top list if I wanted to every month, but there's nothing better than seeing your agents on that top list.
Helping other people get there.
People with kids. We got these managers, Muralles and Sky, and they're young, right? They got young kids, and it reminds me of my own family. And I'm going to give them everything. Right? Because they're going to give their agents everything and they're in it, right? It's 100% in.
Yeah.
That's the difference. You got to be all in this business. Bro.
I love his videos. He posts a lot of good videos I see on Facebook all the time.
Yeah.
He's out there grinding, out there doing the work.
Bro, he's working. But I'm going to feed that. I'm going to give you everything because you're giving me everything. Now, if I get an agent that's giving me 50%, I'm probably going to give them 10.
Yeah.
But if you're giving me 100, I'm going to give you 150.
Yeah.
Because you're grinding. I can fix you if you're grinding. But
Yeah.
if you don't work, I can't fix your laziness. I
Yeah.
can't get you out to work.
Yeah, if you can't get off the PlayStation.
I remember one agent once said, I don't like these group chats because everybody's out there making money and it makes me mad. And I'm like, wait a minute. So you're at home on your couch. You're getting upset because people are out there making money. Get your butt off and get to work.
Go to work.
It's crazy, the mentality of some people, right?
Yeah.
And that's the thing about being a manager. You're a babysitter.
Yeah.
Oh, you got to take care of
Therapist.
people's personality, everything. You're their go-to. Yeah.
Let's talk about, you have an agent that's struggling. You get
Right.
someone that they're not making it. They're probably going to fail out of the business because we know automatically if they're not producing.
Right. But it's different if it's Spanish or English. Right, because I can make you appointments in Spanish. I can set you up in Spanish. I have a Spanish call center. I can't do that in English. In English, you can't call all our leads and make appointments. You can, but it's going to be 1 out of 10 phone calls, 10 people that answer, you're going to make 1 appointment.
Yeah.
If you call 10 leads in Spanish, you're going to make 9.
No.
It's a big difference, right? So I can help a Spanish agent that just needs to see people. If they're a good salesman, I'm going to make them grow.
What's the deciding factor for you as a manager if you're going to give someone some appointments or you're going to help them with that for that agent?
If it's Spanish, it's a different system. They still have to work. They have to show up. They have to go, right? But I can make them appointments. But an English agent, if he's struggling, we have something called an activity sheet. You've seen those, right? I think we have them.
Yeah.
The activity sheet is going to tell me I worked this many hours this day. I knocked this many doors this day. Right? I saw this many people this day. I did this many presentations and this many sales. I could look at your activity sheet for the week and I say, okay, you sat down with 10 people and you got 1 sale. I need to work on your presentation. You talked to 10 people and didn't get in 1 door. I got to work on your door entrance.
Yeah.
Right? If they don't fill out this accountability sheet and they want new leads, where's your accountability? How can I help you if you're not going to hold yourself accountable?
Yeah.
And it's accountability for yourself is big. So it's hard because they don't want to fill it out.
Yeah.
And
they're not working is why.
Exactly.
Let's
Bro,
be
the
honest.
ones that are writing 20-something thousand, here's my account. But I'm not asking it from them.
You don't have,
I need it.
You don't
Yeah.
even care,
I don't
right?
care.
The
I'm not
num-
going to, you're doing everything right. They're calling you,
Yeah.
right? So the difference is if you want to succeed and you want to give 100%, then I'm going to give you everything I got.
Yeah.
So that's going to be the difference. I'm going to talk to the agent. Are you willing to do this and this? Then let's go.
I like what you said though. Like they're calling you. They're not hiding, right? Like it's
Right.
like people, a lot of times people think they're fooling us. Numbers don't lie. Your production's going to tell the truth one way
Right.
or another. And if the production's not there, we were talking about this a minute ago. I had an agent way back in the day and this area is different and all that. And I'm like, ask me where I'm working at, right? I wrote 20,000 driving 5 hours round trip. The area's not different.
Right.
Then the truth comes out. I really didn't work that much. 9 out of 10 times, that's usually what it is.
9 out of 10 times, right?
But if you can get them to fill out the accountability sheet and they're honest with
Activity
themselves
sheet.
and honest with you, right? It's going to help you pinpoint where
Right.
their weaknesses are. You can help them fix it.
I can find where you're wrong, right? And I can fix it. But if you're not going to let me know what you're working, that activity sheet also tells me if you didn't work today, put why you didn't work. My wife needed this, or I had to go do it with this kids. If you work 20 hours this week and you didn't produce, I could tell you all these problems is why you're not writing business.
Yeah.
And that's, again, with us, we can do whatever we want. So people think, oh, he has all the time in the world. He doesn't have a 9-to-5 job, right? So people, your mom will start calling you, I need you to do this. Your wife wants you to do different things. Hey, the kids want you home at this time. The spouse will mess up or make your agency, right? I remember this with Olivia. I always held this because my highest month was 41,000, right?
Huge.
That month I went out, went 4 hours to Yuma, right? And I was gonna go to Yuma, then I was gonna go to Tucson. I was gonna be gone for 2 weeks, right? I had a goal of 10 grand in 2 weeks. I did it in a week, right? I went to Yuma. I was like, oh, I was so happy, right? Babe, I did 10,000.
Already did it.
I hit my goal. I'm ready to go home. Her words were, you know what? It's time to set a new goal. Stay your butt out there and keep writing business because I got the home. I got the kids. We don't need you home. We need you out there. We need you producing. So that encouragement from your spouse, all right, cool. Because I want to go home and be home with my kids. I made enough money. But that pushed me to hit 41 grand. So I went from there. I spent another week out in the field, not going home, staying in hotels. You're away from your family, but you are your main provider of your family, right? So you want to give your family everything. This is a great business to do it.
Yeah.
So,
And I know you're a huge family man. You talk about it a lot. You had actually even adopted I know you recently went into that.
So,
tell us a little bit about how that.
We talked about, I left for 2 years, whatever happened, and I didn't have a job, right? But
how are you making money?
that's the beauty of this business, man. It's the pay-through residual income. People don't understand that when they come in here. They don't have no understanding of what residual income. I work for my residual income because that's my guaranteed money. I stopped working completely. I was making between $10,000 and $15,000 a month, right?
Just from what you've already done.
Just from all my clients paying their monthly, right? What happened is that I had a nephew, one of my wife's brothers, they had a kid that was taken from the state. And he was about a month old, right? And when I moved back to Arizona, I basically had no job. But I was making enough money to take care of my nephew. And I pretty much raised him. He's like my baby, right? I always tell my kids, I don't know what I did wrong with you guys, but this is the best prodigy I've ever had. I feel like it's a gift from my wife. My wife gave me this family, right? I appreciate nieces, my nephews, my brothers, anything that has to do with their family, I love because she was able to give me that for my being married to her, right? But this business allowed me to do that, even though I wasn't working.
What about, you said spend time with your mom too, right?
Same time that we adopted my nephew, my mom got psoriasis. Not cirrhosis, psoriasis, autoimmune disease, which is really becoming a common thing, right? She got it all over her body. She was sick. They had her from one drug to another. And I had to take care of her. That's my mom. And I was like, they wanted to give her cancer shots. They don't know how to deal with those diseases, right? And cancer shots kill your whole immune system. Whatever it is,
it's going to kill you. You're just hoping the healthy stuff survives.
Or it's going to kill you later down the road. It's going to do something. It's a 2% survival rate, right? So I told my mom, if you take those shots, you're not going to be here in a year. And basically, I put her on an all-fruit diet. I'm a fruitarian. I love eating fruit.
How much weight have you lost?
Originally, I had lost almost 55 pounds.
That's strong.
Then we went to Mexico. I gained about 10. But it was all fruit. I was eating right, taking care of your body. Because in this business, too, we make a lot of money. So that means we can eat really good.
Yeah, and easy access.
I just taught her how to eat right. And I put her on all fruit, all natural stuff. And her psoriasis cleared up in 2 months.
That's
so
crazy.
I told her, before you take those shots, they're going to be for the rest of your life. So just give me the chance to give me 2 months. I'll clear you out. And I did my own research. I'm not a doctor. I never went to school for anything. But the internet's right there for everybody. What helps this? What helps your immune system? What's help your stomach, your process? So I started juicing her, all that stuff, and it cleared out. One of the things that I always say is leaving for 2 years cost me financially, right? Just the opportunity to do what I'm doing again. I'm really blessed to have that, and I'm making the most out of it. But it allowed me to take care of my mom and save her life. And it allowed me to raise this child. I don't look at things and say, oh, I wish I wouldn't have done that. Hey, it is what it is.
You're not a victim. You're not a victim.
I'm never going to be a victim, bro. I don't want to be. That's easy to be a victim. We're all victims, right? Look, this world is hard. It's going to happen.
Your mama didn't cross 2 borders.
For nothing. I was a baby, bro. So she didn't get me over here for nothing. My mom's everything. I plan on moving with her, taking care of her. She's older. But it allowed me to do this. And I'm always going to be thankful for this company that continued to pay me even though I wasn't working with them. Come on, who makes 15 grand a month? Not working for 2 years at least. Yeah, it's going to go down a little bit, but I've been able to come back. And again, I was able to come back because I didn't do the wrong things that everybody else does. Yeah. And I'm blessed.
Which are recruiting, like trying to recruit agents,
right?
And flipping business.
And again, I was working directly with you. Yeah. So the fear of that was there because that's what people do. Yeah. They leave and they start calling, you become a cancer. Yeah. And of course, we're a family, right? This business, GM is a family. And we treat it, I see you as my brother, right? You're my big little brother. Yeah. I love you, bro. But the truth, you guys helped me a lot. I remember telling you guys a long time ago, you guys have helped me be me because I'm a lot. You know me, bro. Most people can't handle me, right? But you guys embrace that. So in this business, you're going to meet like-minded people that love you and you're in that right place. But again, we're a family. If I do something wrong, we might not talk for a couple of years because family goes through ups and downs, right? But that friendship was always been there. And I'm always going to be appreciative of that. When I came to work for you, that's the best thing about this company is that I learned in Arizona how to build an agency. It took me 5 years to build a $100,000 agency. And then I moved with you to California. And how long did it take? It took about 6 to 8 months.
That's quick.
Now, I did get some agents in the process that were non-producing agents. Yeah. Nobody's going to give you a $20,000, $30,000 agent just because, right? Yeah. So I've always been able to resurrect agents.
How do you do that?
I do that by believing in them and giving them something that's not being given. If you want to work, if you're putting in the time and you want this, your manager should do everything he can to help you get there. And that's the problem that with a lot of times we don't want to put that energy into an agent. But if you're going to put the time in, I'm going to do what I can to put you in front of people. If you're a salesman, I'm going to put you in front of people. Whether that's door knocking as an English agent, or sometimes in Spanish, you get to make appointments. I'm going to give you all the reasons why you should succeed in this business.
Yeah.
And if you fail, it's not because of me.
Yeah.
It's because of you. So
I've always been the same way, man. Literally, I will go give you 150%. It's if you're doing the work, right? If you have the right attitude, if you're plugging in, if you're doing all those things, we will bend over backwards.
Right.
If you're not, honestly, I don't care. I
have too many people to care about.
Yeah, I got other families that we're taking care of, right? These are other people's livelihoods that depend on us. And we only have so many hours in a day. We have our own families. We have our own things going on. And we have to be able to manage our time. But it's refreshing when you get someone that's pumped up, that's a grinder, right? That's
someone that reminds you of you, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it's, hey, look, I'll hold your hand. You want to make 7 figures? I'm going to show you how to do it. Plug in. Right?
I always said, I'll hold your hand till 10 grand.
Yeah.
You're making 10 grand and I don't need you to hold your hand no more because you got it. If I can take an agent that's writing 10,000, I can easily take them to 15.
Yeah.
And if you're doing 15, I'll take you to 20.
Yeah.
Right? Because there's things that you learn as you go. And us, we've been doing this for so long.
Yeah.
You can't call me and ask me a question that I'm not going to have an answer to.
Yeah.
So I want you to call me when you're in the house. That's the system that we're going to give our agents. And I learned that with your agency.
Yeah.
I know when I worked with Mike, that's one of the things I did. Call us. You're in the house. We'll sell it for you.
Yeah.
Because new agents, they don't know how to close. They're learning. They're in a learning process. And so us as veterans, we get on the phone, we're that good that we can sell it for them. I'm not going to sell all of them, but I might sell 1 out of 3.
But at least they'll know what to say the next time, right? That's a good gauge if someone's going to make it or not. Hey, call me in the house. The people that do it, that's how you learn and that's how you get better.
If you're writing $2,000 and you're not calling me, it's because you don't want to call me because you're not working.
Yeah.
If my phone ain't ringing, it's because you're not working.
Yeah.
I'm always available for my agents, right? Because you have to be. These people need you. I had a new agent, right? He was a top 10 agent for Golden Memorial this month. The guy calls us all the time. Yeah. He's always on the phone. He's always learning. We don't need to ask him. I don't need his activity sheet because he's writing 21 grand, right? You learn, man. When I went to LA, I had the pleasure of working with Ariel Rodas, right? And Ariel, he's old school.
Dude, Ariel, we'll get him on here. The first trip I went on,
I know.
He bought me some Coronas and some hot wings, man.
And you remember when we first go on trips, we're broke.
Oh, I was broke, dude. I'm like, they go, you actually qualified as the highest pro rata for the company. Or you can get $500 for being the highest pro rata, or we can throw you in with everybody else. You get $1,500, but you won't get the same recognition. I said, give me the $1,500, right? I was so broke when I started. Otherwise, we probably wouldn't even win.
It's funny because the next year, I was the highest pro rata agent, right?
Let's go.
That was Hawaii.
Yeah.
And you remember Hawaii, the beers were $15.
Oh, yeah.
I remember, I'm like, I'm not going to pay $15 for it. Now, I'll pay it, right?
Yeah.
But I was walking around with a six-pack that I brought from the store.
Yeah.
Because it's a difference. We don't have that money yet. And it sucks, but because you're around a lot of people that have money. But Ariel at the time, he was one of the top managers in LA. And
he was ordering stuff and I was like adding up in my head. Oh, that's another $20. Oh, and from where I come from, I want to pay. And I don't expect anybody to pay for anything of mine.
Bro, we fight because you always want to pay.
Oh yeah. It's the way I was raised, the way I was brought up. And it's something that when that happened, me and him we've been buddies since then.
Appreciated it because nobody does that for us, right? Yeah. And that's like an agent. If I take an agent, I'm taking them to lunch. And I'm not taking them to McDonald's. I'm taking them to a top-notch restaurant to eat. Yeah. And then when they try to pay, nope, put that away. Yeah. How am I going to be making $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 a year and make you pay and go halfers?
Yeah.
That just doesn't work with us. Here, you're making great money, right? But we can't lose sight of where we come from. And you got to love the people you meet. I've been able to meet my sister from another mister. Yeah. My little big brother, bro. I've met so many good people because we're all like-minded. We all come from nothing. I can come from a third world country. You come from Chow. It's a third world. It's a third world city. It's not a big city, but you learn how to work. You learn how to grind. And those things we can't teach people that aren't going to do it. I can't teach people to work. If you're not going to work, if you go 6 months and you don't work, the 7th month, you're not going to do it. Yeah. So I'll fire someone really quick. Like I actually care for you so much that this isn't for you. Yeah. Maybe you should go somewhere else. Yeah. So
go somewhere that pays for not working.
Yeah.
I don't know any of
that. I don't know. I mean, go open an OnlyFans. I don't know.
Nobody wants to see your feet, Luis.
Start putting your feet on. I actually got some messed up feet, so maybe someone might like it. I got some third world feet.
Let's talk about funny stories.
Oh.
Me and you went out in the field. You got to
Right.
work with some people here from Chowchilla.
Yeah.
I know we were talking about it. Give us a story or two that you encountered on your own. Or
So remember, you're one of the reasons I left the company, right? Because I was like, man, he could do it.
Look at me.
I could do it. Yeah, look at that guy.
You got the same haircut.
But the way you did it, you came from nothing. What kind of car were you driving at the time? Where did you come from? So I was working with you because I was working at Lincoln. So we talked all the time. When I first got my license, you're the first person I hit up. Hey, I need some training. I don't need Spanish training. I need some English training. And you're the only English guy that's been doing it so good. But then I came to Chowchilla first time I came here, and I went out with you. I actually went out with Jesse Escobar. Jesse's a beast. I remember when I went out with him, he's a closer, right? You're relentless. And that's what makes you so good. So you learn from those pieces. But then I went out with Nate Berrigan. Nate's a funny guy, right? He's a producer too. We were going, it's crazy, man. We went we're in the mountains, right? I don't know what that's called. It's a certain city out here.
Were you up in Oakhurst or Yosemite?
Oakhurst,
you're in Oakhurst?
Yeah, I remember that. I knew if you said it, I would know it. And we go into a house. You got to remember in this business, you're going to go into the craziest places, right? And I'll have agents say, I don't want to work that area. But I'm like, that's where the money's at. That's what needs us.
Yeah.
You can't go work in a rich area. They don't need what we do.
Yeah.
Right? We were working there. We went to a house. It was a cabin. We knocked on the door. We got in. And when we walk in, man, the house is a mess. This lady was talking about being the ice princess back in the day, that she used to do all these drugs. And she's telling her story. Man. I'm just sitting there, and she even tells me, go ahead and sit right there. Nate sits next to her. Oh, you can sit right there. Just move the stuff. I start moving stuff, and there's a human diaper right there. There's a big person diaper. I'm like, I'm good. I'll stand. And so Nate starts writing, starts talking to her. She has a couple of dogs around. And we get a knock, and he's already almost done with the presentation. The lady wants it. So we get a knock at the door, and it's a sheriff. I guess she had stole the neighbor's dog because she said that he was being mistreated at that place. I don't know how bad it could be because that place was horrible. And so the sheriff, I need you to come out here when you talk about this dog. She goes, no, I'm not giving you no dog. You're gonna have to come in here and get me. And Nate's trying to finish the application, right? So we're almost done. She signs the application. All he has to get signed is the authorization. At that moment, the sheriff comes into the house, throws the lady on the ground, starts freaking putting her handcuffs, and Nate's just signing this
one more signature.
This one right here. She signs with her left hand that wasn't cuffed. And it's okay, let's go, Luis. Let's go. We don't want to see nothing else. I don't know what happened after that, but he got the sale. Now, did it stay on the books? I don't know about that one. But it was like an eye-opener. This is what we're going to deal with. We're going into places that this is their homes. You got hoarders, you got animals, you got places that stink. And if you can't deal with that, this business isn't for you. You got to learn how to cut people off.
So all joking aside, though, what always helped me is I honestly looked at every person like I could be in that situation, right? By God's grace,
right.
Hopefully I never am. But the reality is you got to look at every person that you're going to as, hey, this could be my sister, my aunt, my grandma. I want to help them out, right? And just because they don't have a lot of money and maybe because the living conditions aren't great doesn't mean that they're a bad person or that they don't deserve for us to treat them. If you're going to treat someone like badly because of that, this is definitely not the industry for you.
Yeah.
You got to go out there with a helping heart.
You know, one of the things I've always closed with, like clients are like, oh, let me think about it. My line is, look, if I had my family, my mom, I would tell them the same. I would say, you can't think about this. This is something so important. I'm going to treat them like my own family member because their family is going to benefit from it. They might not even know it. They might not see it, but our product is so good that I don't want to walk out of that place without trying the most I can to help them. You're not going to help everybody, right? Some people don't have money. Some people don't see the value, whatever. If you don't see the value, if you don't care that your kids are going to have to bury you, because I've had clients say, I don't care. I took care of them my whole life. I'm like, you know what? This isn't for you because you don't care. I'm trying, because I've had those phone calls, right? I found this card. My mom passed.
Those are the worst ones.
Because I do the magnet cards for everything.
So they're on. So they're
always on the fridge, and it says Funeral Advantage. Hey, my mom had this card. My mom passed away. We want to get the insurance. I'm sorry, your mom was thinking about it. That's the worst thing you're gonna tell everybody because you can't do nothing, right? Compared to my mom died. She have this card. I need your help. I'll call this number. I'll have your money tomorrow. The company's going to take care of everything.
Everything's taken care of.
Don't worry about it. Your mom planned this out. She did this. She did all this for you. It's just a difference, man. And you got to care. Like you said, you have to have a loving heart.
One thing that's really unique to me is a lot of people, they see success on working in the Spanish business, right? And probably half of Golden Memorial's business is Spanish.
Yeah.
and you've worked not only the Spanish successfully, very successfully as a top producer, but also on the English side. What do you say to a producer that's maybe in that predicament, or maybe let's say you have a Spanish person that says, hey, there's not enough leads in my area. How are you able to bridge that gap and make the English work?
Like anything in life, we're not going to do things unless we're forced to do them, right? So when I first started, like I said, I became a manager within a month. The next month I had a Spanish agent. I had a couple Spanish agents because I was working primarily Spanish. And I had to feed that agent, right? So I've always said, and I'll say it always, the district manager job is the hardest job because you're moving from a personal agent to growing people, right? I can write 20 grand in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I give those leads to an agent and they might write 2 or 5, right? Because they don't work them. It's hard because I'd rather go make that money myself. Now, if that agent's going to go and write business and they're going to be good, I'm going to give them that territory. And so you start giving up what has made you successful. I was forced to be an English agent because all my Spanish agents were taking all the Spanish. If I'm not feeding them, I'm feeding myself, they're going hungry. As a manager, you have to start caring about your people so much that you have to give up a little bit of yourself. And so that means that I got to go further to drive other leads or have to work English because English is abundant, right? Spanish, I can't get enough Spanish leads.
Yeah, nobody can.
Right, nobody can. There's other things you can do in Spanish, but in English, we have unlimited amount of leads, but nobody knows how to work them. And that's the problem. They think that you just can call them. We know we have a no call. If I'll know if you're calling because I'll send you 20 leads on Monday, and on Tuesday you're calling for more leads because you just called them all.
Yeah, you didn't work them right.
There's a system in place, and this system has been in place since Jack London started. Where did you learn from?
Yeah, he said that's the lead is the thing connected to your wrist.
Remember he would call you to get I got those calls like, you don't even need leads. At least you could just go door knock. You're right. But we had leads, so we didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
And so in English, there's a system that's been in place for years, 50, 60 years.
And it's simple. And it's the process is simple.
Keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah, kiss.
But we build our own systems. And if that agent follows that system, they're going to go straight to the door. We're going to teach them how to get in the door. And they're going to have leads 5 minutes, 10 minutes. They're going to be seeing a lot of people. What I tell people is in English, you have to at least hit 15 to 20 doors, or you got to do at least 3 presentations a day. Because if you're doing 5 presentations a day, you're not going to be able to hit 15 doors, right? So I don't even tell people hit 15 doors a day, because you can go through 15 doors within 4 hours and then you go home.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm telling people you need to do at least 3 presentations a day.
Yeah.
And in those 3 presentations, you're going to get at least a sale a day.
Yeah.
And 1 sale a day keeps the bills away. And that's what I've seen in this business. It's all common. There's no secrets in this business. That's why when I see people want to keep information, they don't want to let, because they're afraid that they're going to teach something. Look, you don't affect my money. You're in another state.
And if someone does that, they're doing 3 presentations a day, even if they're not great, they're going to make 6 figures or close to it or more, right? Depending on their ability.
Right.
But you should be making 6 figures. If you're just even focused just on that, on getting to the table, the money will come.
Yeah, you got to sit with people, right? And that's why, again, with my system, the system is not my system, but I utilize it.
You adapted it.
I'm going to make it my own way, but the agents have to follow it. And if you don't follow it, then you're not going to be successful, because in English, you got to go straight to the door. And we teach them how to get in. It's not hard. I learned the delivery method from you guys, from Dio, right? Dio was the best at it. I trained with Dio. I trained with some of the best agents in the country, right? I've always had that, and I've learned from everyone. I'm a sponge. I can take this. That's going to help me. This might not be my personality, so I won't do that. But Dio would get up. Hey, I have a delivery for you. What, a delivery? Yeah, you remember? So he gets up close like that, right? And it was a method. I'm like, wow. And I put it in my system, and it's been the best thing I could have ever done. So we're going to learn from each other. So I'm not ever worried about the system. It's not the system that don't work. Like we said, it's not the leads. Yeah. It's you. The leads don't suck. You suck.
Yeah, the leads work if you work them.
Yeah, bro. And that's the thing. I think we have that in common. And again, you've always been that person that showed me you can do it in English. Because you're not Spanish. Yeah. You never sold in Spanish.
Not a lick.
Not one. Have you ever sold one Spanish? Do you have a Spanish number?
No, I don't.
Because it's the English. There's more of it, right? And I'm happy that I've been able to build an English $50,000 agency to get my career back up. Yeah. Right. Because the Spanish, I'll find one here, I'll find one there. That's easier for me, but it still takes the same work. Yeah. Because you literally in Spanish, you can go door knock, you can do events, you can do all this stuff. We have Ed Calderon that you had on here. His team does all that without leads.
Yeah.
But he has a primarily Spanish team. If I don't want to work English, it's because I don't want to work that hard.
Yeah.
If I only want Spanish, it's because I want it a little easier. A little easier because you still got to work.
You still got to work.
You
yeah.
still got to get out. You still got to go see people. I'll always tell people that the system works. You work 40 to 50 hours, you're going to be successful in this business.
What would be something you'd like to end with?
The truth is, if you're looking for an opportunity and you are a workaholic, you work your butt off, you've worked for all these companies and you've never had success, you're willing to put in the work, this is the place. Golden Memorial is the biggest agency in the nation. Why? Because we have workers. So we're going to make you successful. If you're willing to do the work, we're going to help you. For me personally, I'm so appreciative of the opportunity. Nobody's going to give you money here. Yeah. Nobody's going to give you
car allowance or
$2,000 minimum, right?
Yeah,
no, we don't do that. Here,
a base pay.
Yeah, if I could give you a base pay, but I'll put you at 50%,
yeah,
right?
You eat what you kill.
So the opportunity for me, I've always looked at that. And leaving and coming back, I'm just so appreciative to be able to do what I do naturally and get out and work. Because I'm always going to work. I'll work. Probably not you, but
hey, you're right there.
But most of my agents, you're not going to outwork me. And I have to teach them that. And I'm just happy to be able to be a teacher, to be a mentor to people. Because I'm a little older, and I think the biggest blessings in life come when you're able to help people that can't help you. Right?
Amen to that, man.
So,
amen to that.
Yeah, I'm so glad, bro, that I met you.
You too.
I have some of the best friends. After everything that's happened to me, I don't have many good friends, but you're definitely one of them, bro. I love you,
too.
Man.
Love you too, brother,
yeah,
for sure.
For sure, man.
There's no better way to end this. It was fantastic getting to sit here and share your story. Hopefully it'll motivate some people to really take advantage of the opportunity of what we're sitting on, or take advantage of the opportunity in front of them, yeah. Right? Whatever it may be, even if they're in a different industry. Hopefully it'll motivate some people to not make excuses, to continue to stay positive, work hard, and seize the opportunities. And with that,
hey, let's go. Thank you. Love you, bro. Good stuff.